Hi Virgo, welcome to June. This is Teresa from tarotbyt.com. And I'm going to be doing your Love TarotScope. Before I do that, I want to call in some good energy for this reading. And I want to say thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to leave comments. And also for those who have ordered readings, thank you for choosing me. I really appreciate your support. And I've enjoyed working with all of you. So we have a new moon in Gemini on the 15th of June and a full moon in Capricorn on June 28th. So I'll get to that later, but let's see what the cards are saying for Virgo. What does Virgo need to know about love and relationships for the month of June? And also anything else that might be important. What does Virgo need to know about love and relationships for the month of June? What does Virgo need to know about love, relationships, love and life for the month of June? I hope you guys are doing fine. Let's see. Okay. The Hermit, the Star, the Four of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Magician, the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the High Priestess. Okay, so you start the month out doing some soul searching. You've got the Hermit here. The Hermit is a card of following your inner guidance. It's also following the guidance of someone whose opinion you respect. So it could be a counselor, it could be a mentor, spirit guides. But really, it's a card about wisdom. This represents the wise old man. It's a card about enlightenment. So you could be taking time out from your busy schedule to do some soul searching, to follow your own inner guidance, to connect with that divine voice within. I feel like sometimes the Hermit, on a mundane level, it can mean going to someone for advice, like a counselor, or following the doctor's orders or whatever. But I think the more important meaning of the Hermit is following your inner voice. That little voice that is trying to tell you what you need to do, where you need to go. And a lot of times we are so busy and there's so much noise going on in our lives that we don't have time to listen to that voice. So for the month of June, you really need to quiet, to slow down, take some time off, and listen to that voice, that guidance. Because it's pointing you in a direction where you can fulfill a dream. You have the Star. The Star is about a goal that you wish to achieve, a dream, but it's in the future. And it's going to take some time to get there. But your inner guidance is pointing you. So if you feel this calling, sometimes, we feel this and we sometimes tend to ignore them. The little voice that says, go this way. You normally drive this way to work every day, or you're doing this thing, and then all of a sudden one day you go, maybe I feel like taking this direction. And suddenly you run into someone you haven't seen in a long time, and it leads to an opportunity. You never know. The synchronicities of life sometimes work that way. So if you're feeling called to do something, or called to follow a certain path, follow that guidance. Don't brush it aside. If it has to do with a relationship, you could be feeling kind of lonely right now. Maybe there's no one in your life. Or if you're in a relationship, you're not sure if it's the right one. Or you're not sure about what you want or what you need in the relationship. Maybe you're feeling lonely if you're with someone, you might be feeling lonely within the relationship. If you're not with someone, you might be feeling lonely and wanting to be in a relationship. In the past, you have the Four of Cups. So that's a card of feeling undervalued or bored or not happy with your present circumstances. So you might have been in a relationship in the past where you didn't feel valued, or you felt like you were being taken for granted, and maybe even being taken advantage of, because the Seven of Swords here is the sneak card or the thief card. So maybe you feel like someone was stealing from you or taking advantage of your kindness in some way. Sometimes the Seven of Swords can represent someone who's a user. So you could have been in a relationship where someone was just doing all the taking, not giving back. Sometimes the Seven of Swords can also represent not facing the truth about something, not telling the truth about something. So it could be that someone's not telling you the whole story, or someone says one thing to your face, another thing behind your back. And there's also, because of this connection with the Magician, you could have been dealing with someone, or you could be dealing with someone who knows how to weave a tale, who could be a liar at times. Or the Magician, on the positive side, the Magician is someone who's a good communicator, very creative, very intelligent, knows how to manifest. On the negative side, they could be delusional, or they could lie, or they're not telling you the whole story. So you want to do some thinking and find out, what's the truth? What is true in my relationship? Am I with someone that I can trust? Or are they handing me a line of BS, So you want to do some soul searching. Coming up in the future, though, you have this Magician and the Knight of Cups. Again, and then you have the Nine of Swords here in your negative thinking. So you're worried about, you could be concerned about a relationship. You could be concerned that someone's not being totally transparent with you. They're not being totally honest. Because the Knight of Cups is a very romantic person. Someone who's very artistic, creative. Could be a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But they live in a fantasy world. Maybe they're, they have this fantasy. They have a great imagination. So maybe they can tell like tall stories. Maybe you're with someone who kind of bends the truth a little bit, and you have to really look deeper to see, what is true about this person. Can I trust this person? Are they telling me everything? With the Nine of Swords, you might be like worried about it. The Nine of Swords is a card of worry. You might be concerned with someone. Or maybe you're feeling guilty because you haven't been honest in a relationship. Sometimes I'm just feeling this dishonesty. And I don't know if it's coming from you or someone else, but it could be that if you're not happy, you're not being honest about it. You're pretending that everything's okay, but you still have stuff that you're not talking about. And maybe it's stressing you mentally, and you really need to communicate how you're feeling. You need to tell the person what's wrong, because you do deserve to have the star. But you're not going to get there until you face the truth. You have to face the truth about something. And with the Magician, you have all the skills you need for success. But maybe you're allowing worry and fear to interfere with that. So you're doubting it. That could be another thing. You're doubting the good things that are in your life. You're looking for all the flaws. Or you're being too critical, too judgmental. And so you're killing the star. You're killing the dream. You're killing the potential of the love that's coming in your life, because you're being too critical. Or sometimes the Knight of Cups can mean someone who has an unrealistic expectations in a relationship. Maybe you're looking for this dream lover, this perfect relationship where two people are just in love and they never fight and they never have any problems. And that's not realistic, because sometimes the Knight of Cups can be someone who is unrealistic in a relationship. They have this fantasy in their mind, like Prince Charming or Princess Charming, like, I want my soulmate, and when I meet my soulmate, we'll just dance off into the sunset and live happily ever after. And, we all know that that's just Disneyland. That's Hollywood. That's not reality. So I feel like maybe if it's not so much the lying aspect, I mean, for some of you, you could be dealing with someone who's not being honest about their feelings, or you're not being honest about your feelings. But I think for some of you, it could be that you're not seeing the truth. You're living in this dream world, and you're not facing the truth in a relationship. The Knight of Swords in your environment, that could represent someone either coming into your life suddenly or exiting suddenly. So you could be dealing with someone who's a challenge. Maybe they're stressing you. You're worried about them. And on the other hand, so you could be dealing with someone who has just recently come into your life, and maybe you're thinking about switching relationships, moving from one person to the next. But you want to think about it. You want to give it a lot of thought, because sometimes the Knight of Swords can represent someone who's a little bit insensitive and selfish. They don't think about others. They just have to do what they've got to do, and they're not thinking about how their behavior affects others. So you could be dealing with someone like that you feel is being insensitive, and not considering your needs. Maybe they jump into things without thinking, they don't consult with you, and you're just feeling alone. Like, I have a partner, but this person doesn't respect me. They don't consider my feelings. Maybe you feel like they're taking you for granted or taking advantage of you. The Queen of Swords. You could have been hurt in the past, and you've built up these walls around you. You're afraid of getting hurt again. So I feel like you may have ended a relationship, and now there's like a new relationship on offer, because you see this Four of Cups. Like, there could be someone new who wants to come into your life, but maybe because of the past, what's happened in the past, you're kind of wary. You're afraid to trust. You're afraid that the same thing's going to happen. Maybe someone deceived you or lied to you in the past, presented themselves one way when they were in reality something else. And you're afraid of that happening again. So you're kind of like a little bit on the cautious side this time. But I feel like there's love coming to you. There's the potential, because the Knight of Cups can represent someone that you feel like you have a karmic connection to, as if you've known each other in the past. You have a strong connection. So I don't know that it's necessarily a difficult thing, but I feel like there's some past issue that you're still worried about. It's almost like you're not trusting. There's some issue of mistrust. But you have the High Priestess as an outcome, and that's usually a positive. There are things going on behind the scenes, but it usually leads to a positive outcome. And another thing with the High Priestess is definitely about trusting your inner guidance. And you have these two cards here, the Hermit and the High Priestess. So it's going to be really important that you don't jump to conclusions, that you don't let the past interfere with the present, that you really trust take time out to think. And if this is you, the Queen of Swords, someone who has built up a wall around them because you're afraid of getting hurt, maybe you need to let that wall down. Maybe you need to accept new love coming into your life. Maybe you need to think more positively about the future opportunities. Instead of worrying about what could go wrong, focus on what could go right. And I think then you will benefit by these two cards here, the Star and the High Priestess. Intuition is going to be valuable for you in the month of June. So take some time out to meditate. Take some time out to think and listen to that voice, because it's leading you to your goal, your dream. And there's going to be an offer that comes in June. And you're going to need that inner guidance, because There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be hidden. That you're not going to have enough information on the surface to make a decision. So you're going to have to trust. It's like almost like trust your inner guidance. It's almost like driving blind. You're going to have to follow that gut. So if your gut is telling you, warning, warning, listen to it. If the gut is saying, oh, this person I think could be really good for me, listen to that. Because things are going to be happening quickly. The Knight of Swords sometimes represents quick movement. Either someone coming in or someone going out. So you might quickly leave a situation and then jump into something else. But you have the potential to have a favorable outcome. Just don't let negative thinking interfere with opportunity. Okay, let's see what's going on with the astrology. So for you, the new moon in Gemini falls in your 10th house. So this could be a career opportunity. An opportunity to make a new beginning in terms of your status. Now, the 10th house is the house of status. So that could be career. It could also be relationship, where you go from single to married, or single to dating, or married to divorce. There's going to be a change and an opportunity for a new beginning. And with the sign of Gemini on the 10th house, there could be two options. The Gemini is the sign of the twins, so you could be choosing between two options. Definitely, Uranus is going through your 9th house, so you may be thinking about, you might be suddenly involved with someone from a foreign country. Or someone, you might be thinking about going back to school for more training. Or you meet someone who changes your belief system in some way, opens you up to new ways of thinking. Mars is right now traveling through your 6th house, so you're working hard. You're being a workaholic. You've been working hard on your career. Mercury's in your 11th, and it's opposing Saturn in the 5th house. So you could be meeting, if you meet a new love in June, it could be someone where there's an age difference. Either someone's older or younger. And one of you acts like the parent to the other. But there's good, there's communication. I have a feeling that you've been working so hard, you've forgotten to have fun. And don't let, with Mercury opposing Saturn, you might have to deal with negative thinking or limited thinking. Don't let your thoughts limit you. Don't let your, because sometimes you might be thinking, oh, this is too good to be true. This opportunity can't be right. It's not, this isn't going to be, don't do that. Don't go into that negative space where you're starting to doubt opportunities, doubt the possibilities of success, because you have the potential to achieve a dream. You have these new beginnings in your career and your status. Don't let fear or negative thinking stop you from speaking up, communicating. Don't let fear or negative thinking be a killjoy to, throw rain on your parade, is what I'm trying to say. Because with Saturn in the 5th, it's hard. Like, you feel like you're not having any fun. You're working. You're working all the time. There's no fun. Life seems heavy. And Mercury, it's like you're doubting that your dream is even possible to be fulfilled. But it is possible, and you have the talent. You just have to hold on to the star. And don't worry so much. A lot of what you're worrying and keeping you up at night, it's all in your mind. It's your fears talking. Send them packing. So now the full moon is in Capricorn on June 28th. And for you, that's in your 5th house. So some creative project might be coming to fruition, might be coming to closure. You might be finishing something up that you've been working on. Or it could also mean a relationship. You may decide one way or another about a romantic relationship. The moon is conjunct Saturn. So it's not a warm and fuzzy time, but it's a reality check. So it's going to be that it's not that you should give up on the dream. but you have to make adjustments. You may have to make adjustments or work a little bit harder. But you're going to see the reality. One way or another, if you're avoiding the truth, you're going to see it at the full moon. Because Saturn connected to the full moon is going to bring reality to the surface. It's going to bring, you can't kid yourself. You can't, if you're living in a fantasy bubble, you're going to see the truth by the end of the full moon. Connected with either a relationship, a child, a creative project, a new romance. Connected to a dream that you're trying to achieve or a goal. The truth will surface and you will see what you need to do by the end of the month. I don't think it's negative, only if you, like I said before, if you let negative thinking get in your way. If you focus on the positive and what you can achieve, you can bring it into fruition. That's the magic of the magician. To visualize something and think, use your thoughts to create reality. Because that's the other thing. With Saturn represents reality, manifestation. Mercury represents thinking. So to achieve a goal or a dream this month, you have to use your thoughts in a positive way and fight your fears, because you have the Saturn is on one hand, Mercury's on the other side. Saturn's like telling you everything that could possibly go wrong, you know. Saturn's also asking you to show what could go right. Saturn is telling you what you need to do. It's making you face reality. This is the work you're going to need to do to achieve this goal. I'm going to show you the reality of the situation. So you don't waste your energies in fantasy, you know, like overnight success. There's no such thing. It's work. You know, Saturn tells you want something, you want to achieve something, you have to do the work. And Virgo is not opposed to work. But the only thing that gets in the way of a Virgo is their tendency to pick out all the flaws and you get so caught up in the details and the flaws that it stops you from moving forward. So you have to know where to put your energy, know where to let go, like not to worry. Virgos have a tendency to worry about minutia. Don't worry about minutia. Look at the vision. Try to focus on the bigger vision. Focus on the goal. And you can get there. So that's my forecast for June, Virgo. I hope this was a help to you. Hold on to the dream. There are people and things working behind the scenes to help you have a favorable outcome. Trust your guides. Trust that inner guidance. It will lead you on the right path. And face the truth. The truth will seek the truth, and the truth will set you free. So good luck for June, Virgo. And I wish you much abundance and hope and joy and love. And I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.